If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Thursday, December 13th, 2012. I'm your host, Tiffany Elias. Our guest in the Phoenix Monitor is Paul Coleman, the head coach of the Penn Charter Aquatic Club. And this past weekend, one of his swimmers, Reece Whitley, the 6'4", 12-year-old, broke 2 national age group records. Here to tell us more about their program. Paul, welcome to the show.
Hi, Tiffany. How you doing?
Congratulations. You're coming off of a very successful Tom Dolan Invitational.
Thank you very much. It was a great meet. It was great to be there. It was our first year, and it was a lot of fun.
This year it was really fast. One of your swimmers, as I mentioned, Reece Whitley, is one of the main reasons that the meet was so fast this year. And I want to talk about him in just a minute. But let's go back to your coaching experience. Now, how long have you been the head coach for Penn Charter?
I've been the head coach since the program started in 2003. We started very small, and then we've kind of built up over the years. We're out of a private school in Philadelphia, and we've started really with one swimmer, and then have grown from there. And now we have around 120 swimmers on the team.
So why did you guys decide to go to the Tom Dolan invite this year?
We used to go to a meet in Boston every year. We like to have a travel meet this time of year and another meet to taper for. And this was, we decided that our program had gotten to the point where we could go to a big meet like this. And it was fast in the past, and it didn't disappoint this year. It was just a lot of fun to be at, and our kids did great overall. It was great to see them all perform the way they did, as well as Reece. The
meet was very fast, and I think overall, like you said, the swimmers really performed well. We do want to zone in on one of your swimmers just because he swam phenomenal this weekend. Reece is different than your average 12-year-old, mostly because he's 6'4", so he was towering over his competitors on the pool deck there. He broke the 200 and the 100 breaststroke national age group records. When Reece joined your swimming program, what were your initial thoughts?
Well, Reece actually joined us at the age of 6. And started off in our swim school, which is run by Kevin Burkhoff. And he's always been a tall guy. So he's used to it. And I guess in our area, Middle Atlantic, a lot of the swimmers and officials are around there know Reece because he's always been a tall guy. And Reece handles it very well. He's just kind of coming into his own, and really his strength is catching up with his speed, and he's just done a tremendous job this year. It's been fun to watch him grow from where he's come from. He's worked tremendously on his technique, and that's what I'm proudest of. Is if you look at him, he's not just a tall swimmer. He has great technique to go along with it. He still has plenty of areas to improve, but he's working very hard to do those right now.
He really does have great technique, and I was able to watch him race at Tom Dolan, so I can attest to that. But going back, you said he's been there now for 6 years. How quickly has he been improving? Now, he just got onto our radar, breaking these national age group records. This is the first time the swimming world is now taking notice of Reece. Is he improving at a fast rate, or what were your expectations for him going into this weekend?
It's actually been kind of a gradual improvement. He was a good 8-year-old and an improved 10-year-old. He was always at the Junior Olympics, but he wasn't necessarily the top swimmer there. He wasn't, we had swimmers on our own team that would finish ahead of him, but it's him. He actually broke his first national record this summer. His relay broke the national record in the 4x100 meter medley, along with Alex Barato, Andrew Abruzzo, and Connor Killian. And so he's been kind of coming along, and then he has a birthday that's in a month. So this was kind of the perfect meet and the perfect setup for him. And he really knocked it out of the park.
After talking to him, he said that his best event's the 200 breaststroke. As we know, he did very well. He was a 209 in that event and also broke the 1 minute barrier in his 100. He was a 59. For his size, you wouldn't expect him to be a 200 breaststroker. Can you tell us a little bit more about his training? At what point does a 12-year-old start to train to be more of a sprinter when you're that size? Assuming that he goes into the sprint route, as he mentioned in his interview.
Well, as an age group program, we focus on basically all the strokes and prepping our swimmers, no matter their size or their abilities, to be proficient in all the strokes, so that when they get older, they can start to focus on specific strokes. His breaststroke is just the most naturally talented stroke that he has. It was the stroke that came along the fastest. He's working on all the strokes, and I'm very proud of how he performs and trains in all distances and all strokes. If you look at him, he's probably not as good right now in the 50 free, but he's not as specialized. We do a lot more overall IM work, and that's where he's been improving the most. And he gets lessons every weekend. He gets a private lesson every weekend from one of our assistant coaches, or our new head age group coach, Coleman, that is great. I enjoy watching it because he is so interested in improving every stroke, every turn, everything. He's a real fan of the sport.
I had asked him if he thinks that with time he'll become more of a sprinter, and he said he sees guys like Nathan Adrian and Matt Grievers, and I think he has aspirations to be one of those bigger, faster guys. But I think you just alluded to that. Your training style, you think right now it's important to keep him doing all strokes, all distances. How much would you say a typical amount of yardage is per practice?
Well, it varies. We have a theme basis, like per night program. So one night it might be kick, which obviously you're going to have a lot less yardage. Another night it might be distance. And then another night, like, for example, last night we had a full IM practice. So your yardage varies based on that. If you're doing a kick practice, you're only going to be around, 5,000 yards. But when he's doing a distance practice, he's usually around 8,000 yards in a 2-hour practice. So what we're proudest of is that he's good at everything. We think that as he gets older, he might be a sprinter. I don't know, but I just like that he can do everything right now, and I know there was a lot of focus on his breaststroke, and we know about his breaststroke, but one of the races I was proudest of was 200 free, and the back half of that race was tremendous, and it shows a lot of the work that he's done.
8,000 is a lot. Is he training with 12 and unders his age, or is he swimming with the older kids? There's
a group of like 1400s that we have. Reese is aging up in a month, and there's a group of 1400s that we have that he trains with, and they're all nationally ranked in the top 10, and as 12-year-olds they were, and now they're all aging up, so they're all kind of moving on into that 1400 to senior age bracket, and he does what he can do. He's a very, very hard worker, and he loves it.
Jokingly, I asked him if he's been recruited for other sports, and he said, I believe basketball, lacrosse, and squash. Are you nervous about possibly losing him to another sport as he gets older?
He's always done other sports, especially in the winter and the spring. We've never, like I said, he's a tall guy, but he's been 10, 11, 12 years old, so he does other sports, and he's good at them. He's not, he's a very coordinated guy, but he does love the sport of swimming. He's always loved the water. Whenever I couldn't find him at a meet, you could always count on running into the warm-down pool, and he'd be in there swimming around. And all the coaches know, and they tell me he's in there goofing around the warm-down. He just loves being in the water and loves it. So it might be a fear, but it's really in the back burner right now.
Well, that's great. We hope that he will stay in our sport. What was so interesting about him, though, is that, granted, he's way bigger than the average 12-year-old, but he's also really well-spoken for 12. that doing an interview with him, I would have had no idea that he was 12 years old. And he said, I'm just like every other 12-year-old on the pool deck. Does he act like your other 11, 12-year-olds, well, soon to be 13s, or would you be able to tell the difference if you didn't know him?
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I think when you talk to him, you know his age right away. I mean, I saw it when he said that the water was smoother in Maryland. I think everyone knew that he was 12 years old. He's a fun guy to be around, and he has a lot of fun teammates that are fun to be around, and he's all of 12 years old. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So what are the near future plans for Penn Charter?
Well, for the age group program, Reese and his teammates will be going to the elite meet in Mid-Atlantic, which I believe is at GCIT. He'll be 13 years old then, which I think is good. I think it's time for him to be racing the 1400s. And then after that, he'll be heading to, then after that is JOs. And then he'll probably go on to our senior champs, but that's going to be up to him. And then he'll train long course in the summertime, and he's a very good long course swimmer. But I mean, right now he's back to training and back to work, and although he has to catch up on a lot of homework that he missed over the weekend, but he was doing that on the way home and doing that all day yesterday. So,
well, thanks for sharing more about Penn Charter. We look forward to following your program, and Reese as well. So we'll hopefully see you at a near future meet.
All right, thank you very much, Stephanie.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, bye-bye.
That is Paul Coleman in the Finis Monitor, and that's going to conclude today's morning swim show. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with all the latest news. I'm your host, Tiffany Elias. Thanks for watching.